everyone, and welcome to the 8th edition of the Farside Podcast. Now, you might know it's been a couple weeks since I've been posting, and that's because I've been very busy with other things, like I've been talking about the changes to my YouTube channel. I've been working very, very hard at those changes, and I haven't really had time to upload or post another podcast. But here I am now, uploading the 8th edition to the Farside Podcast, and today, and a lot of people I know who watch this might not know who NTD Films is, or might not really care about the podcasts I do about NTD Films. If so, I'm going to warn you ahead of time, that's all we're talking about today. So if you don't really want to listen, now's your time to tune out, because all I'm going to be talking about today for the next about 10 minutes is NTD Films and how they've progressed from day one back in October when they posted a new beginning to their channel, to now, or just the other day, when they posted Velma's Brain Games, and how much their channel's improved, what they have improved, what they've kind of started to not improve so much, but de-improve, if that's a word, and what stayed consistent on their channel, what hasn't really changed since day one. So, without further ado, let's jump right in to this story. Okay, so NTD Films back in about October of 2017, as you all know, posted their first video called A New Beginning. And what it was an intro video to a new series they were doing. The series didn't have a title, but it revolved around, I think, 5 characters. The characters' names being Joe Cool, who is also known as Robert Puffington, Sirius McKay, Reggie Walker, Jaden Walker, and Jack LaFrance. Those 5 characters were pretty much the 5 main characters of the series, but the series would kind of revolve around their life and just things they would do, kind of like the SML series or Super Mario Logan series that he does on his plushies. It would just be a different episode every time. If, like, for an example, in the episode before Reggie burned his hand off, that in the next episode he'd have his hand back. So whatever happened in the episode before that did not carry over to another episode, and they never really referred back to, like, hey, remember that time I got a cat or whatever Reggie would say. He never says that because he never refers back to it. So pretty much that's what is going on right now. Anyways, I guess what I'm gonna say here today is that I want to just talk about how NTD's improved. So when they started off back, in October, they were very low budget, low effort, low everything. The first episode, they did actually kind of pre-plan out in terms of pre-production wise, which is like making a shot list, making a script, kind of figuring out how you want the episode to go. They kind of made a script. They kind of had it written out what they want everyone to say, and they kind of, knew how they were going to do the camera angles and stuff. They actually did do some pre-production for their first episode, which I thought was good because you have to do pre-production. Well, you don't have to, but it's a very good thing for every film you make. You should always do some sort of pre-production, whether you make a full-blown shot list, a script, or if you just write out a few scenes that you want to do, or you just write out a basic overview of the video you're going to be producing. But you should always make a shot list. But this is not filming with Landon or how to film with me, because we're not doing that today. I'm just saying. So NTD, they made a little shot list, and they went and filmed. But their first episode was just kind of a mess. I wasn't sure when it first came out. The very first time I watched it there, when it released on YouTube, I watched it. And I sat there and I'm like, what am I watching right now? I mean, I understood the beginning, Jaden getting up, whatever, yeah, going down, having breakfast, nervous about the first day of school, the stereotypical stuff. But I got really lost when Reggie jogs by and then he crashes into Sirius, and all of a sudden they're just running around yelling at each other, throwing balls across the yard, and wands are flying, apparently. I had no idea. Joe Cool's running around like, hey, break it up and stuff, but I couldn't understand what he was saying, so I was completely lost. I had no idea what this was. All I know is there was a lot of yelling and fighting, and it was like a 4-minute scene. Like, that was like 2/3 of the video was Joe Cool, Sirius McKay, and Reggie just fighting, and I was just lost. Then we got to the Jaden Walker and Jack LaFrance part, and that part was just bad. I mean, there was Jack's personality was different. You've noticed it's kind of changed over time a bit. At the very first episode, all he did was he would sit there, and his goal was to be unfocused so that he wouldn't hear Jaden talking to him, but he would be out of it, kind of like, I don't know how to explain that. There was a word for that kind of personality, but he was just out of it, and he didn't really understand what was going on, but he was like too busy on his painting or whatever he was doing. But it just made it sound weird that he wasn't answering Jade until the third, fourth time after he repeatedly said, "Hi, what's your name? Hi, what's your name?" And then, he'd finally answer. It just made it sound pretty bad. I didn't like it at all. Then there was a couple of bad cuts. There was some bad panning. There was some bad camera work, a lot of shaky camera work. And the video just didn't sound good. The bell sound effect was way too loud. They're talking like this. They're like, "So, Jane, what do you want to do?" And the bell's like this. Jeez, just lost my voice there, guys. But you get the idea, right? I'm looking here at my recording and the bars just go flying up, right? So, they're talking super quiet, and the bell sound effect is just like 10 decimals higher, whatever that word is for explaining sound. So yeah, I was just like, what is going on? This video is a disaster. There was a few good things about it. There was a few good things about it. I did think it was kind of cheesy, but kind of, I guess you could say, cute, the way Reggie, Sirius, and Joe Cruel all went off skipping arm's length. It was very cheesy, but some people actually call it the cutest thing that ever happened to them since their 5-year-old started kindergarten. I don't know. That's what people were saying. I was just like, man, you guys have a boring life. Anyways, no, I'm joking, guys. But anyways, point is, apparently that ending was cute. I don't know. I really didn't understand what was going on. I was just happy they weren't yelling and fighting at each other. They were singing instead. There's no place I'd rather be. Well, I'd rather not be watching that video at that time. The song they were singing, by the way, that's why I said there's no place I'd rather be, because that was the song they're singing. But I would much rather have not been watching that video. It's a waste of time. But then Reggie's cat came out. It wasn't a lot better, to be honest, guys. It was pretty boring. It didn't really specify a lot. The video was, I think, about maybe just over 6 minutes in length. I'm not sure, maybe 5 minutes 50 something, just over 6 minutes, something like that. And I know 3 minutes of it was spent at Walmart shopping. Half of the video was Reggie walking up the aisle, buying stuff off the shelves. They're like, "We need more of this. I'm gonna get one of these. Actually, I'll get 2. Actually, I'll get 3. Actually, I'll get 4." It's like counting with Reggie. Okay, or how to shop with Reggie. They could have called that video a lot of things. They could have called it shopping with Reggie. Reggie goes to Walmart. Reggie overspends money at Walmart. Reggie is addicted to Walmart. They could have really gone out with the title, because the cat, really, the only thing that had to do with the cat in there is he was buying cat food for a cat. The episode was also terrible. It's the worst NTD episode, in my opinion. A lot of people say A New Beginning might be worse. A lot of people say Search for Sirius might be worse. But this, in my opinion, is by far the worst video. Just because they spent 3 minutes at Walmart of him shopping. Like, it's just stupid. Why do you need to film for that long? And okay, so they accidentally, this was what NTD said. I accidentally filmed. I didn't realize I'd filmed for 3 minutes. Then cut it. Do you not know how to edit? Cut the clip so it's shorter, and don't let it run for 3 minutes. Like, there was no point for them doing that. It was horrible. That video sucked. That's all I can say. Reggie's cat was just awful. It was the worst episode they made, in my opinion. It was horrible. But then they made Reggie's Full Fun, which I thought was decent. I thought it was a good video. Then they made Jane's Spidget Finner. Really good video. I thought that was great. Jack's losing streak was a downfall. It wasn't as good. It was okay production-wise, but there was no storyline behind it. It was just Jack getting mad and smashing stuff. I mean, okay. I think there was some people who enjoyed that, but it just wasn't something I enjoyed watching. And then, geez, my voice is still suffering from that loud bell I had to make. Anyways, there was, what else was there? There was more episodes. I'm trying to think of good examples. There was Reggie's Game Night really helped. That one really helped. It was a boringer episode storyline wise, but it was still a really good one, I think. The Search for Sirius also, I was told, that was the first time they got their laptop. Like, NTD was editing on an iPad before. He was filming and editing on his iPad, and then he got a laptop, I guess around the beginning of November. And once he started using his laptop, he had better titles at the beginning. He had better sound, like he had music playing at the beginning, and he did some better editing tricks, you could say. I mean, he didn't do anything big at first, but we've seen him definitely improve since he's started using a laptop to edit. Definitely. So yeah, they started the Search for Sirius, then they did Reggie's Game Night, then they did the Elf on the Shelf. Now, there's a lot of speculation on the Elf on the Shelf, and I'm here to give a little short opinion on it. A lot of people were really confused by it, saying that it was really just, how is it Christmas? I mean, besides the fact that the Elf on the Shelf is a Christmas toy, it's not a Christmas episode whatsoever. I mean, they could have chosen any toy. They could have chosen a little doll, and the only thing it had to do with Christmas was that it was an elf. You are 100% correct. Anyone who says that is correct. They could have. It was more of a Halloween episode than it was of a Christmas episode. And I told NTD that, but they didn't really care. And I don't really care either because I think it was a really, really good episode. They did great on the production. The camera work was awesome. They knew what they were doing. It looked like it was scripted out. Whether it was or not, it really did flow nicely. The clips flew like they fit together like a good puzzle, you know. It was really well done. The acting was decent. Reggie's death, just gonna say it was kind of awkward. I wasn't really sure how to take that in because he died in the episode. And he was back in Reggie's YouTube channel about 3 weeks later. But that's beside the point because I don't really know what NTD was trying to do with the Reggie's death thing. I'm not really sure if they were trying to get a little more graphic. I don't know if they wanted to change their rating to PG-13 from PG or G or whatever they were before. But all I know is they killed off Reggie, I guess. Didn't really know why. Well, now let's go. Now they've started a new series. Okay, here we'll talk about this. Let's go talk about this now. So they started a new series at the end of January. Is when I think they started. Maybe it was beginning of February. Now I don't exactly remember. Called again, it doesn't have a name, but it's about plushies and it has to do with Scooby-Doo plushies. And that series really has been good. A lot of people think it's kind of boring, like the retirement was boring, and that all the episodes since then have been boring. But I truly believe that it is a good series, and NTD is doing good with it. All 3 episodes have been really good. They've been doing great, so I think they should really keep it up. And in general, here's my point. From episode 1 to episode, whatever episode they're on now with the Scooby-Doo series, it has really improved. Yes, NTD has gotten a new camera. They have a camcorder now. They have a laptop to edit with now. They have a microphone for voiceover. They've got a nice professional mic for voiceover. But in the end, I think what NTD is most improved with is their production-wise, but also just knowing what they're doing. Because at the beginning, when I would go on set to act, like in Jane's Fidget Fin or New Beginning, they wouldn't know what they were doing. They were lost. They were confused. They had no idea what they were doing. I went a couple of weeks ago, well, I guess it would be about a month ago now, when we were filming like the Scooby Gets Dog Napped episode, and I sat there, and he really knew what he was doing now, and he was much more patient and calm. Like at the beginning, you messed up, he'd snap on you. You weren't ready, he'd be like, come on, let's go. But now he's much more patient. He knows what he's doing. He's calm. He's really learning what it's like to be a director and how to be a director. Like, he didn't know how to take control of a set before. He didn't know how to deal with his actors. He didn't know anything at the beginning, but he has really come far as a movie maker, filmmaker, you know, and he needs to keep working on that because he still can get a bit uptight, but he really has come a long ways, and editing wise too. Like at the beginning, he didn't know how to edit anything. Like he just put the clips in a timeline and here you go, here's an episode, publish it out of iMovie. Now he really has taken time to edit. He's doing green screening, he's doing some nice music, he's doing good cuts, you know, he's really doing a lot better. And when I'm saying he, by the way, I'm referring to Noah Davidson, again, creator of NTD. You should know this by now. Mentioned him probably about 30 times in my podcasts. I think Noah has really come a far, long ways, and he really needs to continue doing good. The only thing he needs to do better is shot listing. He needs to get a script. He needs to actually do some pre-production because it is evident in his videos sometimes that there's little to no pre-production involved in his videos. That's the only negative he needs to work on a lot more is his pre-production. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of the Farside Podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, NTD doing a lot better videos now. Keep it up. Hopefully they're back. Like I said, they're back from their month break of not being able to post. Noah, like you saw, confirmed. He commented on my last podcast saying, I confirm what you say is true, whatever. So congratulations, NTD, for being set free. Keep posting. Keep uploading to your channel. You're doing great. You've come a really long way since October and November of last year. So keep it up, buddy. And you're going to get a little round of an applause from Landon here. So let's hear it. Okay, but that's it for this podcast, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like, hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed yet, and I'll see you next time. That was the 8th edition of the Farside Podcast, now signing out.